Jellyfish. That is the topic of today's Wonder Wednesday. And if you are wondering why I'm talking about jellyfish, I'm getting ready to tell you. I believe, and from my experience, and I talk about this in my upcoming book, We to Me, which talks about my disentanglement from my not anymore husband and the spiritual path that I took to move through that really challenging time of my life, and what opened up in my life. And animal messengers were such a huge part of that. I devoted a whole chapter to it, as a matter of fact. And what I notice is that animals will show up in my life when there's a message that needs to be delivered, some sort of energetic support that is needed, maybe a little bit of a boost or some power that needs to be instilled in you, in a person, in your life. And so I had I want to say, I was going to say pleasure, but it wasn't super pleasurable encounter with two jellyfish in the past 2 weeks. And luckily, both of the encounters were fairly minor. I did some energy work on each of the stings. One happened on my left elbow and arm, the other on my left lower leg. And like I said, it was pretty minor, but enough to alert me that I needed to pay attention to the medicine and the message of the jellyfish. And what the jellyfish reminds us of is that whatever is happening in your world right now, it's reminding us to go with the flow of life, to follow the current, to not fight against it, even if you don't like it. The jellyfish doesn't have an opinion about which way the current takes it. It goes with the flow of it, and it knows that it's going to have everything that it needs along the way. And the one of the biggest messages of the jellyfish, as far as the jellyfish medicine, if you will, is also that we have this sense of, as human beings, the sense of feeling like we need to control things, that we need to control outcomes, we need to control what's happening in our life. And we forget that everything is being orchestrated for us. We don't realize that everything is taken care of for us, that the faith and trust in that process, faith and trust in the current that is taking us, is the pathway to, I guess I would say, liberation in a way, that sense of freedom that we have when we're just following the current, where we don't have to think about this or that and this thing or that thing, and know that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's no action that needs to be taken or that don't use your mind at all, but it's not allowing the chatter of the mind, the fear and the worry, to guide and direct you into making choices and decisions. Because when you make a choice from a place of fear, you are likely going to make a choice that is not necessarily, could be, but not necessarily aligned with who you are and what you've chosen to experience in this life. And I can tell you from my experience, when that has happened, when I've made a choice based on fear, it has likely not turned out the way I would have wished it to turn out. Maybe sometimes it turned out okay, sometimes not, but the majority of the time, it doesn't turn out as the ideal outcome. Not sure who needs to hear that today. So, jellyfish, to recap, jellyfish shows up in your life, or any animal messenger shows up in your life to deliver a message, to share an energy, to bring you a salve for something that is causing you some distress. The jellyfish specifically is showing up as a reminder to go with the flow of life. Do not fight the current. Do not go against the current. Follow the flow. Have faith and trust in the process, and know that everything is being taken care of, that you are being divinely guided and supported right now and always. Any jellyfish encounters out there, folks? Very curious. Please do share. Any other animals that are showing up for you? Please do share, because remember, we learn from one another. And I will be back with more updates about We to Me and the opportunity to learn more about these amazing animal messengers that are all around us, that can show up in the form like the jellyfish in the ocean with me twice. And it can also show up in terms of just somebody sharing a story about an animal, or an animal recurringly showing up in your life. So pay attention to those animal messengers, and you can look it up online and see what they mean for you. See what resonates, see what sticks. All right, please do share. We learn from one another. Bye for now.